So it would be like you knew it, but you didn't know you knew it, you know? Sophie wasn't entirely sure if that sentence even made sense. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Margaret Rose, and today I just wanted to do a simple reading vlog, just simply what I read in a day. I have the whole house to myself today, so I wanted to see how much I could get done. I'm currently in kind of a reading rut. I just posted recently a short explaining where I'm at in my reading journey right now. I'm just not terribly excited about any of the books that I'm reading currently. They're good, but I'm in the mood for a book that is just so exciting, has me absolutely engrossed at the edge of my seat, something that I cannot put down. I kind of set this short out, kind of like a cry for help because I didn't know what to do. But I think my solution is just to power through. None of these books are actually bad at all. I am enjoying them. So I would like to today just get as far as I can. You know, I'm not going to finish them unless I actually spend time reading them. So that's my plan. So in the morning before I head off to work, this is what I do every single day. I will read from Keeper of the Lost Cities, Everblaze. This is the third book in the Keeper of the Lost Cities series. I am rereading the series because I've always wanted to. It is my favorite series in the universe. Doing that now, actually so shockingly enjoying it so much. And it's just such a great way to start the morning before work. Is just something very comfortable, a quick read that every single page I'm just reminiscing. I feel nostalgic. It's just such a comforting read. Usually read 1 or 2 chapters. This morning I only got to read 1 because sadly filming takes up a little bit more time out of your day. So there's that. And then the other book that I'm reading is, I got it in here. This is Haley Pham's book sleeve. So this is the book that I bring everywhere I go, just in case I find that I have some extra time and I can read. So I did bring this to work today. Didn't end up having the chance to read it at all, but I've got The Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Every year I try to read a Dickens. Every year I read The Christmas Carol with my family. But besides that, I like to read another Dickens novel. 2 years ago, I read Great Expectations. Last year, I read Oliver Twist. And this year, I would like to read A Tale of Two Cities. So this is not something I can just like set aside. I have to finish it by the end of the year. I'm also reading a book to my little siblings. Obviously, they're not here though, so I can't get a move on that. We're currently reading Pax. I can't remember who it's by. For some reason, I remember the illustrator. The pictures are so pretty, the cover, and then they have like pictures here and there as well. It's like John Klassen, I think, is the illustrator, but I don't remember the author. Anyway, it's fine. It's kind of like the other books that I'm reading. It's not gripping or anything. not something that we can't stop thinking about. We are currently reading the Enola Holmes series together, and we love that series so much. But this summer we kind of had this thing where we tried to read books that we owned. So then the books that are sitting on their shelves are not just sitting on our shelves, we're actually reading them instead of going to the library. And we don't own the Enola Holmes series, so we kind of took a break and we were reading Pax. But I know that all of us just want to go back to reading Enola Holmes, so we have to get through that as well. Again, they're not here, but it's possible they'll come at some point. I have no idea when my family is going to be home. It is currently almost 3 o'clock, so it's possible they could be home in just a couple hours, or they might be home very, very late. I have no clue. This is just gonna be seeing how much I can read in that time, because once my family's home, it's just kind of hard to find a time to film. But it's possible maybe I'll be able to update you later if I do continue reading. And I'm thinking, this is my little genius plan of mine, if my little sisters come home and I tell them that I have to read Pax for a video, they might just say yes. Because that's the thing, is that they don't always want to read it, but we have to finish it. I'm like that type of person where like if the book is actually decent and I want to see how it ends, I have to finish it, before I begin anything else. And I can tell they're enjoying it a little bit too. It's just not Enola Holmes. I think it's hard to stop in the middle of a series that they love and just go on to something else. Like I said, this morning I read a little bit of Everblaze. I'm currently like just past halfway. I'm sorry this whole thing is reversed. I hated it. I tried to look through my settings to figure out how to swap it. I know I've done it before, but for some reason I couldn't find it. Right now, if you've read this, don't worry, I'm not gonna say any like huge spoilers. King Demeter, the Ogre King, just showed up. That's what happened. And it's kind of like right after that, like Fitz is at her house right now. If you happen to know what that exact scene is, that's where I'm at. And I came home, and while I ate my lunch, I thought I would watch a movie. I really wanted to watch The Book Thief. I already put it by the door because I'm just going to return it to the library. I've been holding on to that thing for at least a month, maybe a month and a half by now, because I can't get myself to watch it. I read the book, I listened to it on audiobook, and it was a good experience, but just so sad. I cannot decide my thoughts on it. And I like to read sad things. Like, I don't know, I like getting my emotions pulled on. But this was actually too sad for me. And having to relive that and like see it so visually, I don't think I can. If you actually think it's good, please convince me to, because otherwise I'm just going to return it. And for the rest of the day, I would like to just get a really good start on The Tale of Two Cities. A Tale of Two Cities. I'm literally only in the second chapter. Okay, so I read chapter 1 and I like highlighted a little bit. Just the very first sentence, because it's a famous first line. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. But that's actually not the full first sentence. Dickens is known for his incredibly long sentences, especially for the first sentence. So if you really want to know what the real first line of A Tale of Two Cities is, listen up. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct to the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on being received, for good or for evil, in the superlative degree of comparison only. This first chapter was so much to chew on. I had to take it so slowly. So much of it made no sense. I remember reading a sentence out loud to my sister, and it was like moving from one thing to the next in just one sentence. I was like, and the funny thing is that teachers have us study works like this, and yet they don't allow us to have run-on sentences like that. I'm like, so why are we studying this then and saying that he's like some sort of literary genius? He is, though. His stories are so good, and I must say I highlight a lot of his lines. So I love to annotate, but I get really messy with it. I'm like scribbling on it when I'm like so into it, and circling things over and over, highlighting. Actually, I've never highlighted before. I always just like, because I always just like grab a pencil, I just like underline it, and if it's something that I'm really crazy about, like draw it in so dark, and then like I write on like all of the blank area that I can find. But this time I've got these stickers that are like post-it notes. Oh my gosh, it's literally falling apart. I had it in my backpack for years, and it was like crushed. But so many different types and sizes of stickers. They're all translucent slightly, so you can place it on top and like still read what's underneath and underline what you need and then write about it. So I did do that. And then I forgot, like in this first chapter, I had highlighted it with an actual highlighter. These guys. But I would like to try some stickers just to make it look neater. The only thing I'm scared about is that like years later, it's all just gonna fall off and none of my notes will actually be there. And then that's almost the point, because then if you're like rereading it, you're like, oh my gosh, that was so stupid. Why did I highlight that? You just take it off. Or if you mess up, you just take it off and you don't ruin your book. I don't know, I'm torn, because I think there's also something to say about a book that's loved. I don't even know what this is about. Maybe that would help. Of course, it begins. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Vividly interweaving epic historical drama with personal tragedy, Dickens' gripping novel depicts the lives of two very different men, Charles Darnay, an exiled French aristocrat, and Sidney Carton, a disreputable but brilliant English lawyer, as they become enmeshed through their love for Lucy Manette, the daughter of a political prisoner. From the tranquil roads of London, they are drawn against their will to the vengeful, blood-stained streets of Paris at the height of the Reign of Terror, and they soon fall under the lethal shadow of La Guillotine. Chapter 2 is much better than Chapter 1. I don't know what was wrong with Chapter 1. But I will keep you updated. I'll let you know if it actually gets interesting, because so far, no idea if I'm going to like it or not. But this is one of his most well-known, most famous, and supposed to be incredibly good. So, let's get to it. It says the mail. Sorry, it was reversed. Now you need to listen to the geniusness of Dickens at work. A wonderful fact to reflect on, that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to every other. A solemn consideration, when I enter a great city by night, that every one of those darkly clustered houses encloses its own secret, that every room in every one of those encloses its own secret, that every beating heart in the hundreds of thousands of breasts there is, in some of its imaginings, a secret to the heart of its nearest. So even to the people nearest them, there's still such a secret, a mystery. And it goes on, and it's all so interesting. Always has me writing and highlighting. And that draws us to the close of this video. My family did arrive about an hour after I started reading A Tale of Two Cities, which you saw in my video. That was about when I started reading. So I didn't get to update you very much. I went outside after that and got a good chunk into the book. I read 40 pages in it, and I was really enjoying it. So far, what I can tell is that it is about this young woman. She's about 17 years old. I think they said she wasn't even yet 17 years old. Lucy Minette. So far, she's just been referred to as Miss Minette. Her whole life, she's been an orphan. Since she was 2, her mom died, and her father went missing. Her mom really wanted to find him, but she was never able to locate him. And so she left her as an orphan. Told her that her father had died. But it turns out, at this point in the book, they have found her father. He's a very different man. He doesn't even know his name, or at least maybe he's just changed his name. They don't know much yet, but he goes by a different name. I'm sorry if you hear singing in the background. My little siblings are singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm right now. So that's that, if you happen to hear that in the background. And so she is finally going to meet him. She really doesn't want to meet him. She's a very sweet girl, and she really misses her mom. But she says that she's always been haunted by her father's ghost, as in, like, the idea of her father just haunts her. So she's about to meet him because she has to, I don't know, and maybe she's in charge of him at this point. I don't know. There's some sort of legal thing going on, and there's this man who's helping her along, and, like, you can tell he's like an older man, and you can tell he feels for her. Like, he's sympathetic, and she's just such a sweet girl. But he keeps on saying, nope, it's just business. We just have to do our business. And, like, so whenever time she gets emotional, he's like, no, this is just business. He's kind of funny. You can tell that he's trying not to feel anything as well, you know, just strictly business. Not that he's in love with her, but that is what I'm curious about, because on the back it says that there are 2 very different men, both love this Miss Minette. Those 2 characters have not popped up because it says their names right here, and I haven't run into those characters yet, so I still have some yet to go. If I'm correct, this takes place during the French Revolution, so I've heard. That was A Tale of Two Cities. Got about 40 pages in. I'm very excited to continue reading. And that is just what I read in a day. It's just a random little vlog in my day with a little bit of some rereading. This is the book that I was reading with my little siblings. We didn't get to it. They were kind of busy as soon as they came home, so we didn't get to it. Hopefully we will soon. It was yesterday, so that's why I'm wearing different clothing. I just couldn't get around to updating you until now. It's just the next day. It's about 3 o'clock. Didn't have time to until then. So I read a little bit more of this morning. Haven't yet gotten to reading A Tale of Two Cities today, but I will. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this little random vlog. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you've read any of these books. And check out my shorts where I'll be showing you what I am reading next. I already came out with a short about books that are having movie or TV show adaptations that I really want to read. And then I also just came out with a short of the autumnal and spooky season books that I want to read. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining. Again, like and subscribe because I will be posting more very soon. Bye.